What's good, gang gang? I'm gonna let TikTok in too. What's good, my loves? Let everybody come in real quick. Hey, my loves. Hi, everybody. Hey, gang gang. Come on in, come on in, come on in. So I wanted to cover a couple things. Spirit wanted me, hey honey. Spirit wanted me to come on and cover a couple things. Um, I didn't come on yesterday. I was doing a lot of things for my mother. What's good, my loves? What's good, babes? So, a couple things. First off, Enterprise. What's good, Enterprise, my honey? So normally I come on a little earlier, but I had a bunch of shit I had to do yesterday and today. So I'm on here because Spirit normally has me do collective readings that are like what could happen on a grander scale, not in our personal lives. They have me usually do that on Patreon. Okay? But Spirit told me this morning that I was going to get up and do one for the collective today. Okay? So we're going to see what Spirit wants to talk about. Okay? For those of you that follow me on Patreon or you've been like long YouTube followers, you know what's good. What's good, Cynthia? All right. I'm going to start off with saying that my Patreon group, we have a WhatsApp stream, right? Where if I see something and Spirit like triggers, like shows me something or something come across my news feed and Spirit says something about it, I shoot it to the Patreon group. And then I tell them what Spirit said about said thing. Okay? So yesterday, it came across my timeline or whatever. Oh, thank you, honey, for the red lipstick. I'll touch on that in a minute too. Good afternoon, Ruby. Right? So came across my news feed that there was breaking news that good afternoon, babes, that they were calling a special meeting in Congress to talk about some type of uh, threat to national security by one of our opponents. I call him Big Red. Okay? I try not to use people's names because these are all allegedly, right? So that came across my news feed, and as soon as that shit came across my news feed, right? Spirit said internet, right? So I shot that story to the Patreon group, and I wrote under it. I should have took a screenshot, but there are some members in the YouTube chat. What's good, Shannon? That are also Patreon members, and they can tell you that this is true, right? So I shot the story to them, and then I wrote underneath, Spirit says the internet, right? So several hours later, they start talking about how this threat, supposed threat, has something to do with like space. Okay? And what it is that they're talking about the satellites and the possibility of Big Red trying to use, nuclear pew-pews, right? You had the dream last night and there was a breach of our information. Yeah. right? So using, nuclear capabilities in space, but to what end? To take out the satellites, which control what? The fucking internet. It controls everything, right? So that was confirmation. And I do these readings every Friday. Today's Thursday, right? So I feel like Spirit said this one's going to the public because today's Thursday, it's not even Friday, and they told me to get up and do one. Okay? So, Now, as far as the red lipstick goes, normally you guys know I don't really come on here with makeup. Okay, it was like the beginning of last year, and Spirit was like, "Hey, Tawanda, like makeup is like unnecessary. You no longer need to hide or something." I used to love makeup when I was younger. Now I really don't as much. Once in a while I'll wear it. Oh, thank you, honey. And I am going out later just because my partner, we live together, whatever. He was like, should we go out for Valentine's Day yesterday? And I was like, nah, because like his work week Thursday is Friday. So I'm like, let's chill. You got to get up so early. Let's go out Thursday. So I'll be doing that later. So I actually had to put fucking clothes on, which I normally, I'd be out here chilling with y'all. I don't even be putting on my makeup. Half the time I rarely do my hair. But I want to keep it authentic with y'all. Like, that's just who I am, right? So anyway, we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about what Spirit is going to tell us. Okay? I got to tell you, for the ones that that you're not Patreon members, a lot of what I'm going to be saying is going to be saying in code. Okay? I'm sure you can figure out who the orange one is. Thank you, Anna Vera, right? I already explained who Big Red is, right? We got another one who's like just trampling through places. We call him the Iron Fist, right? Because he's just like demolishing shit that he ain't got no business demolishing. If you follow what the fuck I'm saying, yeah, that's his name. Okay? Okay? The comedian is the one that got invaded. The first time. You got it? So we got the players, right? Some of the main players. Now, why do I do it like that? Because I've had YouTube videos. I've been on YouTube for years. I've had YouTube videos that have been blocked by particular places because they be accurate. Okay? Normally, Spirit has me doing this in the background. Okay? So we're going to get into it. We're going to see what the general energy is. Sometimes Spirit will mix it. It will be personal things with political, with global. Okay, so let's see what comes up. Spirit, can you show me, please? What is it that the collective needs to know? And why is it that you had me do this collective on this platform? Normally you don't. Can you show me? Solar calm, and it says clarify, 12th house introspection. That's a 16 reduces to a 7. So there's like a mystery. This is going to be a wild one, guys. I had been saying in my private readings that the Galactic Federation has already set limitations as to what can and cannot be done. Okay, I feel like a lot of the monitoring that we have been having here has been because there are certain people, places, and things that have gotten too big for their britches. What's good, Candy? Spirits on today. And I said back in 2021, I believe, or 2022, you guys can go look back in the YouTube videos. There's a lot of videos called like sun showers, lost ones. You'll see all the messages when those videos were public still. This number 8 year is revealing a lot of things to the collective. But prior to that, there was a lot of people who were getting awakened because they, and I explained this in other lives, were like lighthouses. They had to be disseminated to places because they're like in charge of their own awakening or their own group. Right? So it's like the chosen or the ones that have been awakened. We have a different, like, thank you guys for all the love. Like, we have a different frequency. Like, we're observing this shit from like a different angle. Okay, so it's like the Divine Mother's using this time to crack shit open. You have the Galactic Federation who's waiting to see who's gotten too big for their britches, because if they have to, they'll intercede. There has been movies that, you know, they've been trying to tell us, and I'm not even talking about the recent ones. There was one with Keanu Reeves where basically we was like the plague, and that's factual. See, because we get too, like, ahead of ourselves as a species, that we feel like we're the only thing that matters. But there are, I'll say, forces that are to maintain a particular type of balance. And we are but a speck in time, a speck of sand. And think of it as like the overall leveling or stasis of the universe, of the galaxy. Okay? Because we think in terms of Earth. And there's things in regards to Earth that are important and necessary, right? We even hold a particular vibration. We hold a rotation, right? But even that shit is but a speck. Right? So there's other parties that have vested interest in us fucking acting right. Now, whether you want to look at that, okay? Whether you want to look at that as, you know, good versus evil, like, I really don't tend to look at it in that way. I'll think as above, so below. You have that on the galactic scale. Good morning, it's the little things. And you also have it in your personal life, right? But between the interactions, right? I think that we can feel the duality. I think that we can feel right now that even as there's all this information breaking, that there's even more in the cut. Okay? And I had been saying in the private readings that Big Red was going to make his play because he had already had some shit in motion since before the orange one. And so it's too late, baby, now it's too late. Can't turn around now. Turn around every now and then, right? And there's a lot of loose ends and there's a lot of shit in the balance, right? And then you have other forces that are like, do we have to do like an erasure, or do we, what are we supporting here? Do you understand? Like, we thinking in terms of like, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't, because as a melanated being, okay, our daily experience with so many things here can really suck you down into the rabbit hole and have you fucked up with the shit that you have to deal with every day. It's a distraction, right? But there's like so much of a bigger picture, right? That it's so fucking large, yo. It's like all encompassing. All right, we're gonna keep on, Spirit. I think that Spirit's trying to give a background to what we're talking about. Spirit, can you show me? Sagittarius, expand. We've been getting a lot of threads, Spirit said. We've been getting a lot of threads, right? And if you pull on them, like, it leads to bigger investigations and who's rocking with who and who's fucking who and who's zooming who and who's like against and who's getting canceled, who's being outed. There's a lot of who. You got the opposition at the bottom of the deck, but it's about to get real. Saturn structure. We're going to start to see how the threads connect. Chiron heal. Okay, so it's like certain things have to be burned down. Okay, and there's like a hijacking, okay, that they've been trying to do with the awakening, and those who like, because everybody got these gifts, and it's like whether you choose to like, you know, step into that, right? And there's people who, you know, it's not about age but about experience. They could be good afternoon, Iris. They could be getting misled by propaganda, right? Because certain people, especially Big Red, because that was how he got to where he is, okay? That he actually created something called compromise, and that was used to, like, you know, put people in particular positions and then exploit that. And so that's how he got to where he is. And people underestimate that that's not what's happening. And it's been going down. And I'm telling you, Spirit been saying it to the group in private. He behind all this shit, yo. He behind all this shit. 10th house authority. Fifth house passion. And I'm just going to say, there's no innocent players in a sense when you talk on a global scale. Okay, you follow? There's no innocent players. Everybody's got their perspective and what they need to do for their piece of the world. So we start with that equal playing field to start with. We don't play favorites here, right? But let's say that his angle is to play the underdog. so that he can align himself with those who feel outcasted. But that use of and I'm gonna make a correlation for you, that use of the underdog energy is not suited. What's good, Pink? What's good, Pink? Is not suited. Why do I say that? Because that person is not the underdog. They are the pinnacle of power where they're located. They hold on to power in a very aggressive manner, and they happen to upend, let's say, their opponents. They have a history of unaliving them. You know what I'm saying? So you're not really the underdog, bro. Like, you really more like the heavy in the story, right? And who here wants to be like that? Like Mike, I want to be like Mike. You feel me? Dude is so on his job. Okay? Dude is so on his jock, like he wants to be like him so bad. Look at the bottom of the deck, passion, right? So that's dangerous. But the ambition is not what's dangerous, bro. It's the stuff that's happening behind the scenes. That's the dangerous part. We all know that the situation that's happening in the Middle East is horrible. And I'm always going to be on the side of humanity. Hey, Maria. I'm always on the side of humanity, okay? Thank you for renewing, Shannon. Right? So we know that, right? But did y'all stop to think that Big Red did that purposely? He moved certain pieces and things because he wanted us here to be busy with other things rather than assisting the comedian defend himself, who is really the underdog. He wasn't even a politician. He was a fucking comedian. Okay? So that's the real, right? So basically, what do you do if you've got an enemy that's really strong and will and been stepping on your fucking neck, been had your number, been spoiling it for you every time you try to do some shiesty shit, right? What are you gonna do? What does it say? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Okay, thank you, my love. And then they start some shit. They say, you know what? Go over there and start some shit over there. So that way, the Iron Fist will come and do some atrocious shit because the Iron Fist been wanting to do that any fucking way. So, you know what I'm saying? He's over there like Clint Eastwood, like, make my day. Right? And then they can use that to bring in other alliances. Right? Because now that'll have your enemy busy. It don't take a rocket scientist. All right? So we're going to get the masculine archetype deck because this is the one that Spirit likes to use, because most of the time, who is those that are in power? The masculines. Let's look what they doing, what they thinking. So that's why I say, right? And I want to make it clear. I'm a remote viewer, right? I'm not backing a particular thing other than humanity. Because I feel like all of us are pawns in all of this anyway. Okay, so I'm reading from that perspective. All right, this isn't about allegiance to this, that, or the third, or whatever. Okay, don't get in your fucking feelings. I'm channeling what Spirit's telling me to channel. Okay, Spirit, show me, please. Crossing the threshold. So we're already in it to win it. It's already begun. Okay, and what's happening with that reporter, we'll say loosely, call him a fucking reporter. Okay, you know, the one that got fired, and then he went over to what used to be called Twitter X to go do what he would call news. Right? So he went over there, right? And there were like these public love letters written to each other, right? If you think about it, the way they've been going back and swooning over each other, right? Anybody who says they can't see it is because they don't want to see it. Okay, and this situation, we're at a tipping point. Spirit said a tipping point. Okay, can't turn around now. All right, and now Spirit's also saying Big Red and the orange one, they can't pull back now because there's a big ass folder that's missing presently. Okay, that big ass folder has all the proof. Okay. The backstory of everything that happened, everything that was done, everybody that was down with it, here, there, everywhere. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if this doesn't go well in November, the cat's out of the bag completely. There's no fixing it. So all the chips are on the table. All of them. Everything's in fucking play. Spirit. Lover. Adventurer. See, and there's a particular person, the orange one. Things are being stripped from around because he took a bet. And he's about to lose that bet on many ways, right? And so what he's trying to do is run the clock out. Run the clock out. Because if he can get back where he was, then he can kill it or attempt to. Are you following me? But he'd have to run out the clock. And the odds of that are not good. And so things are being stripped away already. I feel like the partner is gone. Okay? The partner is gone. She bounced. Okay? And, you know, you gambled, right? He thought he was winning. He thought he was coming up, right? Refusal to change, and he can't. And then the other side, right? Big Red. Big Red's like, say my name, bitch. I wish you would. Go ahead and say my name. Right? Because I told you, the way he moves is different, right? People just be falling out of windows and shit. You understand? Listen. Okay, and then how they use the young one for the old man, how they using him to like try to put the screws. Listen, I don't care if he's a crackhead. Honestly, I don't know about y'all. What the fuck that got to do with anything? Honestly, I'm hearing the damn This is America, right? where like every family got like somebody who's addicted to something. So like why are we acting like so shocked and clutches pearls? Like what the fuck is what? It's like a distraction. Okay, that listen. Like the humanness in me says that, okay? I don't know about y'all, but like remember Bill? Uncle Bill? Like, did you really care if he got his knob, slob? But and like, what does that? That's between him and his wife. Like, I don't know. Like, we spend way too much time in people's fucking bedrooms. I don't know about y'all. Okay, but let's keep going. Anyway, I feel like this is all it's all bullshit, right? This is what we need to be paying attention to. And them motherfuckers. And what they doing. And who they connected to. And who pays their bills. I pledge allegiance to the flag and who they fucking chill with. And what they trying to keep balanced and the status quo. That's what we need to be paying attention. But they want us giving a fuck about how Usher was hugging on Alicia Keys. Sidebar. Why does Usher keep doing that? Because it puts him in conversation, right? Because, nothing against Usher, but we wouldn't be discussing it. You see? So last time it was the other chick. I like her. Her name is not coming to my head. But that's going to be like his new signature thing. So, Okay? Kiki, yes, right. Okay, so yeah, he was just, that's going to be his new signature move to stay, I'm not hating y'all, I swear. I like Usher, but it's a stay relevant move. Like, who cares? Who cares, okay? Warrior, we got way more important shit and how people trying to stir the pot and make shit go down. I'm going down, right? They're also showing me the border. Okay? And I'm going to say something, and I really don't care who gets mad. Why is it? And I can't talk about anywhere else. Okay? But why is it that, palm colored, right? Always got to come in a group to some place in the country to start some shit. with other people of color? Why you never do that on your street? Okay? There's always a caravan or some shit or some like, you know, militia. Like, cut it the fuck out. Like, I'm from New York, right? I moved to a part of Ohio. I was there for like 10 years in a very not equally distributed, you know, ain't nobody had no problem. Not here in my face anyway. You know, I'm in Florida right now. They talking about, you know, putting groups together to deal with something. Let me tell you something. I'm in a very melanated area, let's say. Heavily melanated area between black and Latino, which to me equates to the same fucking thing. But I digress. I don't see anybody walking around popping any kind of shit. Okay? Constant rescuer, an addict. It's that there's segments, or people, I should say, there's people in power who exploit segments, and pockets of people who are addicted to like hatred, to the othering, who want to revert to like a different experience and a different time. Okay, back to reality. Oh, someone's mad at me, right? Seeker, right? And then you've got this whole awakening thing happening. And let me tell you, these people are going to go down in the wrong side of history. We've just entered the age of Aquarius, land steward. Okay, I know it doesn't look like it. Give it 5 years. The trajectory is going to be very fucking different. This younger generation, they're going to change the game. I'm telling you right now that thing that they're talking about in the air, in the space with Big Red and him having this capability, that's going to be taken away. Okay? Because you know that shit that happened in the Miami Mall? Y'all stay with me. That was a warning. Like, you know, we could pop up whenever, right? Y'all getting out of fucking hand. We will shut this shit down. Right. Right. They're just like, yo, act right. Because we don't want to. Hey, babes. Because we don't fucking want to. But we will. It's like when your mother tells you before you go into the store, don't touch nothing. Because if you do, I'm going to fucking whip your ass. Don't make me. But I will beat you in public. Right? Remember that little talk? Okay. You remember that little talk? These governments have been given that talk. Okay? That's what they not gonna say. You know, what's the big secret? The big secret is that even they get their ass chewed out on occasion. Okay? You got, look, wizard, right? So there's other players. You see how these planets look like nothing to them? The giants, the Nephilim, whatever you want to. Listen, there's bigger energies. Remember I said, but we're just a speck. Even Earth is just a speck. Do you understand? Returning home. Right? This returning home, this feels like, if you were to think about it, it's like saying it's all our home, or what you do there affects ours, right? What's the okay, Spirit, give it to me. It's a quantum physics thing, a particle, right? Where you're reacting with the other particle, right? And it was proving the twin flame thing, right? So it goes to say that everything that happens there is affecting here, and vice versa. Everything is connected, right? Returning home, right? Hey, Polly. All right. This is not for the elements. This is Spirit got me out here giving you guys what I usually give Patreon about some global messages. Okay. So they're basically saying that they're not going to permit what we consider the powers that be, which are a lower rung, what we consider the powers to at be, which are a lower rung, dimensions. What I mean is, what we think the powers that be are, yes, they're the powers that be here, but there are other worlds. There are other forces, there are other life forms, there are other aspects that we as humans take for granted, because we always come from the perspective of believing that we are the top life form. We are not. We are not, okay? And there's other life forms that are more intelligent than us, that have no dog in the fight, where they don't necessarily want to harm us, but they also recognize that we are harmful and that we can't respect the status quo or the earth that we're even on, let alone other life forms. And now I'm hearing, did you do it? I ain't gonna be able to do it. Like, they ain't gonna let us. I feel like if and when WW3 should truly kick off on a different aspect, because I believe that we're already there. But if it were to kick off where we start using other types of weaponry, that is going to be the final straw, and that's when they're going to make themselves known, because they're not. Okay? You got speaker out here. And a lot of this has gotten stirred up by this gentleman, because hatred was such a vitriol for him. And in some ways, he was used just as the others were. Listen, if you don't like what I'm about to say, you could unfollow me. In many ways, he's been used the way Malcolm X and Martin Luther King was used. Okay, so by his fucking sheer presence alone. Hi, my love. By his sheer presence alone, it's like all the fucking haters came out. Okay? And that was the tipping point. And you know what? The Divine Mother is using that expose what needs to be broken. And what you're seeing and the extreme actions and like, you know, trying to ban books, you know, written by African Americans and Black history and you know, these forces going down to the border and just all the fuckery. Can we just call it fuckery? Because they trying to teach the young ones, because they know they up out of here. They old as hell. I'm 52, right? And even most of my generation knows that's shenanigans, right? So they trying to convert the young, the stupid, the confused, the lost dreamer, right? Because who's going to continue to do it? Who's going to continue to do it if they don't do it? Right? And this younger generation, they on some, you know, getting back to nature. You see a lot of people talking about, you know, growing their own food, right? Going back to artistic measures, and people, you know, this younger generation, they care more about what they like, working a smarter, not harder, right? Mentor, right? And as much shit as they talk about Generation X, in a way, we the ones who was like, yo, this shit gotta change. We don't know how we gonna change it because we fucked up, because we're still traumatized and shit, but we know this shit ain't right. Right? So we started raising children to speak up, right? Right? And I feel like the more generations that come, it's like it's being honed in to break like the system in a sense, okay? But while that's happening, you got big players who are trying to act like they're the underdog and going to use that same strategy to use that frequency to try to flip things and grasp at a particular power. You get what I'm saying? And then you got people in power who just trying to keep the status quo because they used to, you know, keep rising to the top. Give it all you got, give it all you got. They're used to chasing ambition and capitalism, right? And the collective's going through like this fucking supreme ordeal. We trying to like break free from like the matrix in a sense, right? Sovereign, right? Learning that we don't have to necessarily be part of a system, that we could think for ourselves, that, you know, all, you know, we are part of the all, right? That what we affirm with our energy is what we affirm in our 3D reality, right? And they're having trouble using our frequency against us, and we're like blocking them out. I feel like that is what the spiritually woke is doing, right? So they're putting up the prices on everything. We're like, that's okay, because even though I don't even use the word broke anymore, because the Divine Mother always takes care of me, right? And then they're like, okay, we're going to make houses unaffordable, right? And people are like, that's okay. You know, I always wanted to travel the world. Maybe I'll, you know, buy something somewhere else where it's cheaper. Like, I swear that the spiritual people are like, that's okay. There's a reason for this. Like, we are looking at the glass half full and not half empty. Right? So the panic mode that they normally would use to like, they're not getting it. Yes, they're getting it from a certain part of the population, but it's not like how it used to be. It's not enough to amplify. Now they have a competing frequency, right? Whereas I said in the beginning, they disseminated the spiritually woke to be like lighthouses so that we could beam off this signal. So now you, me, we are like in competition with that frequency, where we are projecting that there will be a solution. We are projecting humanity. We are projecting growth, looking at spiritual reasons why and how we can transform situations, right? Now, there was a reading that I did some time ago. It's called the 100 Monkey Theory. And basically what it was is that they had 100 monkeys in a study, these scientists did, and they gave them dirty yams every day to eat. There was a body of water next to where they were, and then they taught one monkey how to wash the yam. And the monkey realized that it tasted better. And so he started teaching the other monkeys, you know what's good? If you wash this fucking yam, not only it'll be clean, but it tastes better because of salt. You feel me? So what ended up happening was that they realized that that one monkey taught all the 100 monkeys, right? But what was crazier was that monkeys in other parts of the world that had not been part of this also learned how to wash their yam or their food. So what does that mean? That collectively we're tapped in to each other. So how many people does it take for humanity or humans to get to the tipping point of the 100 monkeys? So if we, the spiritually awakened, are beaming off a frequency that is no longer feeding what they want, because we're awake and now we're projecting what we want, right? We're more conscious. Of course, there's always things we need to learn, but we're more conscious of where our energy flows, right? So not only is their frequency not as strong, but as we keep disseminating that frequency, more and more people end up hearing the frequency and coming into alignment, just like the 100 Monkey Theory. And eventually we get to a tipping point. I feel like we are right at the catalyst of like where you got like Big Red and all the players who are trying to hold on to a specific time or frequency or power or ambition, right? They have their own fucking reasons, right? That's at its highest point because there's no way for them to turn around. They got to go for broke right now. Right? It's win or extinction. There's no in between, right? And the same thing goes for the spiritual, right? That we can't go back because they would try to crush it. They would try to break it. And because they see how it causes more and more of the collective to go to being more spiritually awoke, but it also lessens their frequency, so they're not gonna let that shit happen, right? And we're at the height of that. So it's as if the two things are really clashing, and that is the work of the Divine Mother. Because she's like, I'm going to use the change through chaos, since y'all want to play these fucking games and want to play with my children and y'all been stepping on their necks. I'm going to show you how this is how we do it. Right? I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. You get it? Because she's like, you trying to over here recreate the womb or the God particle or AI or whatever you want to, we ain't going to go down all the rabbit holes. Y'all, Spirit got me out here talking about stuff that my Patreon group already is familiar with. Right? But the activists are growing, right? The inventors are growing. We're finding ways, right? Ways, right? There's a cure coming. Three cures. 3 and 5. 3 and 5. 3 and 5, Spirit saying. 3 cures in the next 5 years to 3 different things. Okay? May take longer for the actual medications to drop, but you will hear within the 5 years 3 cures. Okay? I definitely feel some form of cancer. A specific form of cancer. Okay? I don't know why, but Spirit's saying something about the reversal of the death. Reversal of the death. Do you want to tell me what the third thing is, Spirit? This could be some type of version of, I don't know if it's connected to strokes or Alzheimer's or if they're connected, but it feels like something that appears kind of like a heart attack, but it's in the head. So that would be a stroke, but it could also be memory or Parkinson's, something that starts within the mind. Okay? I also, and that makes sense. Okay. It could be something related to Alzheimer's or dementia or Parkinson's, because I once heard a long time ago that had something to do with like white matter in their brain or something like that, like how it shows up on a thing. And Spirit kind of showed me in that way. Okay. So I don't know if they find the reversal of that. I don't know if they find the reversal of that, or they find how to prevent it. That one feels more preventative. That one feels more preventative. Okay. Also, there's somebody who's about to get locked up. This person, it feels like they got caught up with something, but they're being used because they have knowledge of something bigger. This is like a string or another player. This feels like something to do with the orange one and maybe some papers that are missing. This person is going to have a problem that is separate from. And let's just say that one of the 3-letter agencies might be observing this person, and when this person has a situation that is unrelated, they're going to exploit that. Which, bro, if you know that you're on like the short list for some shit that you shouldn't have been doing, and you got to mind your business by like the luck of the draw, then you definitely shouldn't be doing shit wrong. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like, phew, like they didn't fuck with me, but then you stay doing other shit that may be unrelated, and then you get caught up because you too busy and you don't know when to fold them, know when to hold them, right? Feel like this person gets a little busy in other sectors or things that they've been doing, and it comes to bite them because they're being observed and they don't know they're being observed, but you should have known you were being observed because just from close proximity. Are you following what I'm saying? And because of that, what's going to happen is that they're going to get rolled up on. Okay? They're going to get rolled up on. They're going to be like, get in the car, want to have a conversation. Okay? I always get the little tune stuck in your head, right? I feel like this person, they just didn't know when to sit down, and they're going to have a conversation with them about how if they don't want to deal with a situation that they shouldn't have been doing, they're going to have to cooperate with something else. And I feel like they're going to say, sorry, they're making us like verify readings that are over, lives that are over an hour. But they're going to say basically, you do this or you're going to run into these problems. And this person's going to say, you know what I'm more afraid of? You trying to get orange. You trying to get orange. And this leads bigger. This leads to bigger fish. Okay? And they're afraid of that. So they're being said like, I'm gonna need protection. We haven't even gotten to the leg of the journey. Like, a lot of what we hear isn't about people, but there's been people that have gone into protection, they're saying. Okay? Spirit, is there anything else? And that's what Big Red fears. This is Big Red's card. Okay, because even though he's talking about how he's in control, and he's like the underdog and he's gonna come out, he's actually very worried about whether he can maintain, because the test and trials, you see, test and trials, and everything is shaky, right? Because that other player, the ancient ones, you know, the ones that wrote The Art of War, they gonna go down in what's their best interest. And Big Red knows that. He knows that he don't have that shit in lock the way he wants, because they're only rocking with him right now because they feel like it's in their best interest. The minute that shit doesn't align with their best interest, they will leave him in the fucking dust. You understand? And like I said, everything's in motion, and it is for us as well, okay? And trying to expose One aggressor is trying to expose other aggressors to say, see, I'm not so bad. Okay? And trying to make certain players in the game defend other players for allegiances, so that way it could take pressure off of him, right? But there's an integration happening. It's not going to go his way. He's not going to get what he wants. And this one can't make it. The orange one. Okay? And the comedian doesn't necessarily win, but he lives to fight another day. Call to change. 2025. One 2025. That will be the solidifying that it failed. So who's going to be there? I don't know. But basically, that's the day of power gets switched. Right? And all the sides are like getting their, like they're gathering who the players are. Right? Resurrection, right? I'm hearing clear, like, you know, when they use the paddles, right? Because those people that know that this is the last leg, they trying to fight with their last breath. Okay, so they bout it, right? But I told you, there's also other forces larger than us that are not gonna let certain shit happen, because it would disrupt more than just humanity. Then you have the awakening, those that are having the awakening, and how that frequency plays in. Okay? And then you have the Father and the water. And I feel something about the masculines being taught that, you know, about their emotion, or about needing to be more in touch with the emotion, or with the flow of life, or the divine mother, or nature. Okay? There's going to be a large shift in that way. Okay, diplomat, there's going to be diplomacy, but I feel like it all of this 2024 are going to be fucking wow. Wow. Okay? Because the oppressor, right, is busy making the other oppressors. Everybody's the oppressor. Like one oppressor wants one thing, so he wants to show, see, this person is oppressor here, right? And but it's really what it's doing is like showing the collective who all these fucked up players are, and who we got to get rid of, so that we can get to like a place of love, right? Age of Aquarius, age of Aquarius. So why did Spirit want me to tell you this? You should have supplies. You should have supplies. Water, beans, uncooked, right? If you can grow some stuff, if you have a solar charger, you know, couple things. And on the Patreon, we talk about that a lot. But that's so that you can deal with short-term emergencies. I'm talking a week, a month. The reality is that the spiritually woke, we are to hold on to the frequency of knowing that the divine mother, and that the forces that be, and when I say that, I mean like other life forces, are not going to permit this, because it would be a disruption to the overall stasis of the galaxy. Okay? Yeah, harvest the fruits. Like all of these things, we have to put our energy towards knowing that we, you know, let's say that worst came to worst, that the satellites were taken out. Because everything that they do, the Divine Mother is going to use in a way to bring us to where we need to be, right? What's going to happen is that we're going to have to learn how to farm. Okay? We're going to have to barter with each other. Right? But we're still going to survive. So don't get into that panic mode, because that's what they want. Because when you're in the panic mode, then you're giving your frequency to them, and they can use that. Okay? What they want is to disrupt the spiritual people, right? From you putting your energy to where it needs to be, which is your awakening into your family, what you need to take care of, right? And by doing that, that is how you, on a personal level, foil, I don't even use that word, that's spirit's word, foil their plan. Because they want to be able to put fear so that you could use that fear, they could use that fear, right? To disempower the collective. Okay? Now, Spirit said write down important phone numbers, okay? Because if there was no power, how would you get in contact with people, right? And it wouldn't be down forever, but there would be some stuff down. Write down certain things. Save water. Short list of medicines, especially like if you have a child that's asthmatic, or you know of certain things that you know for sure you would need. Have that shit. Because I feel like short-term disruptions, they may not all even be in the same place at the same time, right? And we need to, instead of panicking, we need to know that we are always prepared, and that the divine will provide for us. That we have to stay level-headed, and that's what they don't want. Okay? It's a changing of the guard year. Okay? And some of these people that think that they're gonna do certain stuff, it's gonna fail. It's just that it's gonna go down to the wire, all the way down to the end of this year. But 2025 is gonna be the rebuild. Okay? All right, guys, that's what I have for you guys. I just wanted to come on really quickly, and do what Spirit said. Give you guys a world reading. Like I said, I do these on Fridays, for my Patreon. If you are interested in that, this is part of any of the levels. If you join any of the levels, this is part of that, okay? And the higher level, you get a monthly ritual as well, okay? Yeah, I don't know. I guess Spirit wanted the collective to know. If there's any part of this that you want to rewatch, you can do so by going over to YouTube, and you will find it there. I don't necessarily toot my horn. There are many things that I have gotten correct, a lot. And I probably would have more people following me if I did clips of that. But I feel like you find me if you're supposed to. Okay? So that's what I have for you guys. I'd just like to say thank you for spending a little time. I'm wishing you all light and love and blessings on blessings. Bye, guys.